Hi, everybody, and welcome to Sylvia and Peter talking about mental health in general and mental health in business in particular. We do tend to drink a coffee as we go along, as you can see Sylvia doing right now, and sadly I've already drained mine, so you will not see my famous yellow mug this time. We are both therapists. We have been around for a while doing other things in business, and later in our career turned our hand to and training into becoming therapists. So we pick up things that we think are important in terms of mental health. Either it's because it's really popular out there, or it's because it's something we've been mulling over for a while. And we do tend to say things that people don't like to hear, which is great because that sparks debate. And this time around, we have both picked up on a trend of posts on LinkedIn about how absolutely brilliant last year was and all the fabulous things we are going to achieve in 2023. So if you're watching this in 2024, you will know that this is a very old video. So we call this the comparison trap, because very often we read these posts and think, wow, this person is so successful. Why am I not? What am I doing wrong? Oh, my business is horrible. My business is crap. I'm not doing well. Look at all these successful people out there. Others get inspired by those posts and think, oh, if they can, so can I.
Definitely.
So this is a bit of both, isn't it, Sylvia?
It is. It's quite a balance to be had, I think, because I've read a lot of posts. A lot of people celebrating their success of 2022, which I think is fabulous. I'm all for self-promotion and celebrating success. At the same time, what are our outcomes? I want to achieve this in 2023 again, which is fabulous. But what I personally would like to see a little bit more balance, a little bit more perhaps thought that not everyone has had a good 2022. There are some people that are just about surviving, whether that's financially or their own selves. And some people didn't survive, 2022. Some people have taken their own lives. Some people have died. And let's just remember that not everyone is having a great time, and that putting it on LinkedIn, a bit like social media, what we see is fabulous, but we don't see what's gone on behind the scenes to achieve that either. But also let's remember that there are a lot of people that are, for want of a better phrase, okay, happy, content with how they are. So when they read these posts that someone's, I'm going to be doing this and I'm going to be doing that, it's very easy, as we've called it, that comparison, start to compare ourselves to, dangerous words, should I be doing that? Ought I must, I've got to. And that can start to actually have a little bit of a detrimental effect on our self-esteem, our value, our worth, rather than actually, that's their stuff. I'm okay as I am. I'm okay with my business as I am. I'm okay with me as I am. I know I could do X, Y, and Z, but I choose not to. So let's just be a bit more mindful. There are a lot of people out there that may be struggling, but equally they're okay with their life as it is.
And that is so indicative of the comparison trap, that it's difficult to just be okay and happy with who you are and what you are. I have so many clients who come to me either for counseling or coaching, and we always end up with those kind of clients doing a bit of both. They can be mentally completely spaced out and worried over not being as successful as somebody else they know in their peer group, or that they are not the like of Richard Branson or Elon Musk, just to mention a few that are always in the public domain. And we just have to bring it all back down to earth again and say, well, how long have you actually been in business? And the answer is maybe 2 months, half a year. Well, okay, well, compare like with like. Be happy with the progress you make. Figure out what is it you want to achieve with your business. And sometimes they ask me, well, what are your goals? Don't you want to build this empire of multi-million? And my answer is no. It's not where I am in my life. That's not what I want to do.
Mm.
I want to make a living. I want to do it the way I like doing it, doing what I enjoy doing, and then accept all the other bits and pieces that come with it that are not as enjoyable, but things we have to learn. So it's about getting the reality in. It's about accepting that it's hard work if you want to start your own business. It can be hard work if you don't want to start your own business and everybody else does and you think you should. So as human beings, I think we have this tendency to think the grass is greener on the other side.
Mm.
Instead of, as the saying goes, water your own lawn and make that green or greener than the other side. So mental health is a fragile thing. We can put so much pressure on ourselves. And I see other people blaming others for their own misery. But actually, it's not. It's just the unrealistic expectations and unrealistic comparisons that can drive us up the wall.
And it's interesting, we spoke about, you know, content and being happy. And that will depend on each individual. I know of a friend of mine, their definition of happiness has been successful. But what's successful? You know, it's chasing it all the time. And I like the idea as an American thing, I think, of the Hunt for Happiness Week. I'm not so keen on the word hunt for happiness, but it's all about celebrating the little joys in life. And it's not about being happy all the time. It's making the best out of the things as much as we can. So it's just accepting life for what it is. Life isn't always successful and driven and wonderful and celebrating success. You know, it's hard blooming work. And also to accept that some people are okay as they are. They don't want to grow and develop. And that's fine. To someone else who's always growing and developing and innovating and, you know, getting better all the time, that might seem a bit of a curiosity. Why don't they? But it's to accept that we are all different, and some people at different stages in their life want different things. And it, for me, it's just, it's say this comparison trap. It's very easy to get drawn into, oh, perhaps I should be doing that and I should be doing this, and I, you know, perhaps I should be looking at that and developing that. And it's being mindful of the implication of that on our mind, our physiology, our self-esteem, our purpose, and it can have a detrimental effect. And that's sort of the area that I'm sort of interested or curious about, this comparison, and not to be drawn into that. And I think probably the message there is being, know yourself, knowing yourself, what you want, what you need, what you want, what would you like to have happen? Are you okay as you are? If there are changes, great. If you're okay as you are, that's great too.
The thing about life is it has the good, the bad, and all the beige in between. And
the ugly bits.
those as well. I just try to avoid the good, the bad, and the ugly, because there's a bloody reference to a film.
Yes, exactly. But it's true though, isn't it?
We have everything.
Using bad. People use the word having a bad day. But that in itself has a bit of a negative connotation. I'd rather say having an off day. It's very interesting, the power of words. Yeah. Good, bad, ugly, bad, off. What actually works better? Who knows?
Does anybody ever say, I had a good day? I don't know. But as long as we can differentiate between how our days are, I think we are actually doing pretty well, because we have then accepted that some days are good, some days are bad, some days are just happening, ticking over without us noticing. I just think, maybe on getting to a final note on this, that all those wonderfully positive and glorious posts that we see, they may well be true.
Yes.
Absolutely, they may well be true. And why not have the successes, but make it your own success on your own terms. But we should all realize that behind the happy facade, there is hard work. No one gets to where they are in business without having put in the effort. So if we focus on putting in the effort and the process of getting there, instead of just focusing on being there, then we will get there.
Definitely. I think, you know, I always sort of say behind every face is a story. I'd also like to say, you know, just being is also, for a lot of people, enough. You don't have to be something else or aspire to something else, or, you know, want to achieve something else. For a lot of people, we're okay where we are and what we're doing and how we do it.
we need all of us in the shapes and sizes and forms that we are. And the more we as individuals can be content with who we are and where we are, then our mental health will improve enormously. It's when we become dissatisfied with ourselves that we become dissatisfied with the world around us. And we also have to factor in our own success, our own misery, our own joy. How does that affect the people around us? We are not just individuals in a box and everything else doesn't exist. We do need to look around us and find out, how is my mood affecting my family or my colleagues? Is it fair? Is it not? Something I could change, or do I need to get out of this place quickly?
And the other thing is, it's literally just popped up. Not all of us are shouty. Not all of us shout out successes and what we want to do. Some of us, many of us are quieter, just get on with things, and are quiet in our successes, quiet in our achievements, quiet in what we want to achieve. And just because people don't put stuff out there, doesn't mean to say it's not happening.
That's also true. And I learned that if I wasn't shouting about my own brilliance at work, nobody noticed me. So I was bypassed for promotion, for example, because I was a bad salesperson of myself. So if you have what you need, you don't need to shout. If you want more, if you want to be the face of something or somebody, well, you do have to do the marketing, you do have to do the selling, you do have to give the impression that you are successful, because nobody wants to buy from a loser. So bottom line, I think, Sylvia, is we have to do what we are comfortable with.
Exactly.
And the more comfortable we are with what we do and how we do it, the more authentic and genuine we come across, and the more people will like us and trust us.
Yeah, I think for me, it's just when all these people are saying how wonderful and great things are, just really be mindful that there are people out there that may be reading those posts that aren't having a good time, however we quantify that. So just being mindful of that, I think. Absolutely
true. We are ourselves responsible for how we pick up communication. But we can also, I think, and we should be sensitive about what we do communicate. You can never please everybody.
No, of course
but
not.
You can try to not annoy as many people as possible.
And it's great to see what other people have done, because if they can do that, then I can do that. But it's just that, just a little sort of, just remind, a little reminder that, not everyone is doing so great. And everyone is comparison. Comparison is great. Sometimes we compare ourselves to others. It can be hugely aspirational, inspirational. It can be a driver, it can be a motivator. But there is a tipping point, and that will be different for everyone, where it becomes a bit of a demotivator, a bit of a cross to bear, so to speak, a bit of a, it goes from, oh, wow, that's brilliant. How do I do that? It has that negative, that comparison falls into the negative bucket.
And when that happens, that is when you have to stop what you're doing, I think, and think about, why am I responding in that way?
Yeah, exactly.
Something else is very likely going on. It's not that successful person's fault.
Yeah, so what's going on for me there? Not me, but what's going on for me there? Why am I responding? And have a bit of a recheck, top to toe audit, rethink, reframe, whatever phrase you want to use. Actually, no, I'm okay as I am, or actually, no, I do want to do that. Yeah.
Exactly. So we have compared notes on our thinking on the comparison trap. And if you watching would like to do the same, please compare your notes with ours and post them in the relevant places. We would love to hear your comments.
It'd be interesting what people think about comparing, whether they see it as a positive thing or a negative. That would be really interesting.
Please agree with us violently or agree with us violently, whichever you like. We'd just like to hear from you. Take care, and thank you for watching once again.
Cheerio. Bye-bye.